Tonight's message is called Adapt to Change or Circumstances. A lot of times in circumstances that we find ourselves in, the last thing we do is lean on God or ask Jesus for help. We try to do our own strength, and we get further and further into trouble, and then it's deeper and deeper and deeper, and we ruin more things, and sometimes circumstances can change you, either good or bad. You choose. You can choose that circumstances lift you up or break you down. And sometimes we are forced to change. Like now. Sometimes circumstances have to come around, and if these circumstances won't change you, guess what? The next one might. And they're much worse than these ones. There are much worse places that you can be than this. Much worse. And for some of you, this is the safest place you've been in such a long time. Not running around, people chasing you, climbing over walls, jumping over stuff, breaking into stuff, getting out of stuff. So circumstances and changes are something we have to do. Year after year, day after day. You guys have the time to do it now, and I try to do it each quarter of the year, maybe try to change something about myself or something I need to do, but you need to change. You can't stay. Who wants to stay the same? You can't stay the same because the person at the stage you like, you don't like the person you are now. And that's the truth. When I sat in these chairs, there was not a day that went by that I felt like I wasn't good enough. Not worth anything. But allow the change to happen or circumstances to change you. You know, Paul, when he wrote Ephesians, was in jail. Imagine he decided in jail that he's not going to write it. It's too bad. I'm in jail now. Not going to do anything good now. He took that whole prison thing and he turned it around into something spectacular. Just with that attitude that he had. He was spirit-led. What is spirit-led? I said a lot, you have to be spirit-led, but your decisions, the way to life, what to do things, when to do things, when not to do things, these are all things you ask the Spirit to do, and He leads you to do it. When we lean on our own understanding, we do things, and then we get consequences for them. The consequences for doing things bad and good. But the consequences are on you. And if they're bad or good, it's on you. Amen. There are a lot of things that can change you. Like I said, but correction can change you. People can change you. Heartache can change you. Sadness can change you. Pain can change you. Can change the way you think. Can change the way you see things. Reference points. That can give you reference points. What is a reference point? Yes. So, say, let me a stupid little example. If I was yelled at in my childhood a lot, and I was yelled at while I was here, it will take me back to that incident. Understand? That's a reference point. So you must change that. So maybe the reference point will be when someone shouts at me is to fight. But that's wrong. So I must go back and change, or go look what the reference point is and then change it. Understand that? Go to Philippians 4, verse 11 and 12. Doesn't matter what your circumstances are, you can have a good attitude through it. The very thing that we put off are the very things we need to go through. We like to put things aside because we think we don't have time for them, or we think that they're not important enough. But if you're thinking about them, they're important to you. Paul says this, I'm not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content with whatever circumstances. I know that I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether we well fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. Amen. Don't have tax shop money, I'm out. This guy was in jail, bro. You know, I'm going to say something else now. The whole world's full of boys. Not enough men. Amen. When you look at the TV today, there's little boys watching TV or whatever they watch, or whatever. They don't have any role models. They don't have any people to look up to. So they look up to these rappers and people on TV that Uncle Pastor Kevin says it a lot. He says honeys and bling, you know, those are his. But they don't have any role models. And each of you in this room want to be a man and a woman. I mean, a godly woman. Just talking to the boys here. But it's not easy, bro. It's not easy. But you must choose it. Since now your life hasn't worked out the way it should, because you thought you knew better. Go to 1 Corinthians, must I read them? So you don't know, just write it down. 1 Corinthians 9 verse 19 to 20. You can go read it later. Though I am free and belong to no one, I have made myself a slave to everyone to win as many as possible. To the Jewish, I became a Jew to win Jews. To those under the law, I became like under the law, though I am not myself under the law, as to win those under the law. So Paul became a lot of things to a lot of people so he could save a lot of people. The situations that you find yourself in now, look around you, you can maybe change someone's life. Amen. But we get so hung up about how we feel and what we do and how's this and how's that, that you miss these things God placed in your path to change you and to help people along. Because you only think about yourself. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1. There's a time for everything and in a season for every activity under the sun. So it doesn't matter what circumstances you find yourself in or what's going on with you at the moment, it will pass. You guys look at me sometimes like this is your life. I'm serious. You guys walk past me with your lips hanging on the floor like this is your life. This is a stepping stone to your life. Stop moping around, my man. You got to change your life. Act the part. Enough being little boys. And it will pass. 6 months of rehab will pass. A year of rehab will pass. Your matric will pass. Amen. You're not dead. You're far from it. You may be feeling all different kinds of things because you numbed them for so long. Now you're like, ooh, what is this thing? What is that thing? What's this? How do I deal with this? What the hell is this? It's the truth. When I got you, I was like, whoa, Rolf, whoa, what's happening here? I was a mole, bro. I wasn't lacquer. But guess what? I knew I had to change. Some of you sitting in the chairs thinking that you don't. If you're here, and listening to me, you need to change, bro. Just out of your snap out of it. Okay, Romans 8:28. You all know what that says. And I know that for all things God works together for good for those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. So guess what? Even these 6 months that you are away here or longer, God will use all of that for something huge. Better than this you have now. Much bigger, much better, where I'm not there. It's just a little step, man. Guess what? Yes, I can tell you so many stories about where I did so many things wrong, and that specific thing turned out to be something great. Me deciding to volunteer changed my life. Serving changed my life. Because I wanted to change. I wanted to be invited to parties again. I wanted to be invited to christenings and to weddings. I wanted to be invited. You must want to change. Doesn't matter what I say. It does matter what I say. It does matter. Because I've been here, I've sat here. You were built for so much more. Amen. Yes. So much more than this. Now, there's a huge difference between consequences and trials, right? What are you sitting in at the moment? Consequences. Don't look at this rehab as a trial moment, because it's not. Your behavior put you here. God plucked you out of what you were doing to put you down here. Trial. 3 days of dishes, what the hell? It's also a consequence. Not making up your bed, swearing, 7 days, consequence. Not a trial. Am I right? Can I get real now? Sure. God uses life to draw out good things in you. Uses tragedy to bring out strongness, courage, strength, happiness. Draw it out of you. Things you never knew you had, man. Things you never knew you had. And that only happens when life happens. All the roads that I took in my life, good and bad, ended me up here. Talking to all of you. And I never saw it. Didn't plan it. But God used everything that I did, every circumstance, everything that I did. Here I am. Can do the same thing to you. Don't get me wrong. Like a lot of times I have to motivate myself, and the same things that you guys go through, the same things that I go through. But I've went through them a little bit, and now I've got a little experience in things, so I can stand up here and teach you about a whole lot of stuff that I know anything. I can't teach you anything I haven't been through. But I can tell you, if you have a broken heart, I promise God can mend it. Amen. He's close to the broken hearted, He said. See further than just what's around you. A lot of times people are nearsighted. James says it, that they're almost blind. I think in Peter, almost blind. So nearsighted that they are blind. Don't see the big picture because we are so focused on what little things happening here. So focused on how depressed I am. It steals your joy. It steals your joy. People today want success without being groomed for it. Everybody wants to be a CEO but not work the 9 hours a day for the next 15 years to be CEO. You must be groomed for something. How can I, when I look at my journey here, how can I be teaching you if I just sat in these chairs and 2 a week? God can do it, don't get me wrong. But I wasn't groomed for it. Now with everything that happened to me while I was here, I was groomed for standing here in front of you today. People want success but not do the work. Everybody wants to recover but not do recovery. So what grooms you? Circumstances, people, correction, tragedy, perseverance, patience, meekness, all those things of the Spirit actually. They groom you. Praying, yeah. And after your circumstances and you get through it, what's your reward? Guess what? Another trial or tribulation or something else. It's not the end. Yeah. Who's with you now? Who's been with you all the time? Yes. That's your reward for getting through something, is get another something to go through. To grow something more. That's how it works. Not the end, like I'm through some, I'm done, thanks, I'm out. No. Doesn't work like that. Just because you've gone through some heavy stuff in your life doesn't, those kind of things are over, but I mean there were still things that will test you, like all the time, most of the time things will test you. And you'll get another one. Another one. And you'll go through that, and you'll grow in faith, and you'll tackle bigger things, and you tackle bigger things, and you see bigger giants, and you move them out of the way, and you do something else. And so you find purpose and meaning and life. We all want to live. What are you prepared to sacrifice to have that life that you want? 6 months of rehab? Really? This is nothing. Top 5 things, I've done some cool stuff in my life. This, top 5, top 3. Easy. Easy. Because once I found out who I am, yes, Bruce, stuff just came to me. Like, I like this kind of thing. I like that. I'm driving this thing. Jesus helps me out. I'm over here. Thank you, Jesus. In there. Get something else. Get stronger. Tackle these things. Now I don't even think. I just move. That's what's up. Listen how cool this is. Jeremiah 32, 40 to 41. I'll make an everlasting covenant with them. I will never stop doing good to them. I will inspire them to fear me, so that they will run, never turn away from me. I will rejoice in doing them good, and will assuredly plant them in this land with all my heart and soul. Promise from God. Promise from God. Dink eens allemaal sê plant wat blom waar jy geplant is. It's nice, eh? Can I read it again? Okay, listen. I will make an everlasting covenant with them. I will never stop doing good to them. I will inspire them to fear me, so they will never turn away from me. I'll take that now. I will rejoice in doing good to them, and will surely plant them in a land with all my heart and with all my soul. Amen. Hey? That's beautiful, man. So it doesn't matter where you are now. God's got your back, bro. The creator of everything. The Alpha and Omega. The boss, the big dude. He's your dad. Yes. Makes me tingle, bro. Sure. Okay, I'm almost done, so this scripture is very, very cool. I want you guys just to listen. But to the one who does not know and does not things deserve punishment will be beaten with few blows. Never mind that. For everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded. For everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded. And for those who have been entrusted with much, more will be asked. You want to be responsible for your life? More will be asked of you.
Great power comes great responsibility.
For everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded. Yeah. And I can tell you from experience that the more I grow, the more responsible I must get. And that's even harder. Doesn't get any easier. My faith grows, and I know that God grabs my hand tightly and pulls me. Get up. Dust yourself off. Let's go. Be awake. Be awake. Whatever circumstances you find yourself in, be awake. Open your eyes. Look around you. See what's God trying to do in your life. Don't look at your circle. Look further. Further than this. This isn't it. This isn't it.